Hey Virgo, this is Dark Dove Tarot. This is your middle of May, 5-minute blip flip. This is just a blip into what's going on currently and what's going to continue for the rest of the month. This is something I usually do for friends and family if they're kind of confused. Maybe they feel like they've gotten off of track. Maybe they expected one thing and now they're wondering if maybe they need to make a change, etc. This is general, so it may not resonate with everybody. Check your sun, moon, and rising. Again, this is for Virgo, middle of May 2017. Likes, subscribes, comments, etc. I appreciate them all. If you want a private reading or want to donate, the instructions are in the description as well. So let's get started. The first card that we have here is going to be your current position. So your mood, how you're feeling internally, externally, and you have the Hanged Man. So, okay, Virgo. This is telling me that a lot of you singles are self-aware. You're finally coming into, this is where I want to be, this is who I want to be with, and I know that, but instead of being the ever so diligent Virgo and the planner and the person who is, Virgos, some of my best friends and some of my best relationships have been with Virgos, but they tend to, again, be the caretaker and not let somebody take care of them. And this is telling me that you're becoming more self-aware, or maybe right now something has made you realize that to really find what you want, you're going to have to make some changes. You're understanding that you have to sacrifice a little of yourself to get what you want, and by sacrifice I mean you're going to have to open up your heart. And we've been talking about that a lot since January, about you being a little more emotional, being a little more giddy, having a little more romantic side. But this is telling me that it's actually sinking in. So middle of May, you're going, okay, for singles, I know what I want. I realize what I need to do. And to get what I want, I'm really going to have to make some changes. And you're starting to see that and you're implementing that. For somebody who is wondering if their ex is coming back, or maybe you've just had a breakup and you guys are separated, it's kind of the same thing to a certain extent. You're like a little wiser. You're going, okay, I thought I was being this, caretaker, this top dog. I had everything in line, but I didn't have their feelings I didn't take their feelings into account as much. I hate to say it, Virgo, but this tells me it really feels like a majority of you are kind of the reason that this split happened. I'm not saying you're the only reason or that it doesn't take two to tango, but look, a lot of you know that it can be difficult in a relationship, and a lot of you tend to go for, let's say, like water signs who are more emotional, and they can take care of your, or help you with your emotional needs and spiritual needs and a little more on the lighter side. But if they're hurt, or if they're not feeling that attention that they need, or that security that they need, so to speak, then they close off. And Virgos aren't quite sure how to deal with that, because you're like, look, I'm taking care of business. We've got it good here. What else do you want from me? And they're going, your heart. Like, you could lose your job tomorrow, but I want your heart. And that's hard for you to deal with sometimes. It just really is. So I feel like a lot of you are, if you're wondering about reconciling, you're starting to become more aware of like what needs to happen. So let's see what is going on with the person coming in, or the people you might be meeting, or your ex. And you have Judgment. All right, so interesting. You have two major arcanas. And all right, for singles, this is telling me that a lot of you have been meditating, a lot of the people that you're interested in have been meditating and kind of, they're looking back almost into points in their life where things were good. And so they're coming at you with a new perception as well. So it's interesting for singles. This seems like you're kind of coming anew. And again, it's baby steps. It's not like you've changed overnight and this major metamorphosis happened. But you're feeling a little more free with your heart and your feelings in general. And this person that you've met or you're going to meet, they're also kind of maybe reminiscing in times when they liked somebody. And they're kind of feeling that towards you. They're going, this person makes me feel good. And I haven't felt good in a long time. They're, thinking about it. They're taking their time. So this person may be slow to open, but you're going to be slow to open too. So this definitely tells me that there's a positive connection here, or there will be if you haven't met this person. If you're separated, your ex is doing some judging, but not just judging you, they're judging themselves, and they're thinking about the relationship and wondering where they could have been different and where you could have been different. I do have to say, and Virgos, you hate it when I do this because you just do, but I'm telling you, they're looking back, reminiscing right now, and that's the time to grab them. And every time I bring this up and say, Virgo, go for it, I get messages and emails and people saying, I went for it 5 times and I shouldn't always have to. And yes, you're right. You shouldn't always have to be the person to go after them. And I get it. And you don't want to have to be that person. And you didn't always do something wrong. But because I think you're generally picking the softer side, the water signs, etc., you're going to need to put the majority of the effort in that because they're back in their shell. Let's say it's Cancer, which is interesting. That's kind of the picture I'm getting. Let's say it's a Cancer and they're feeling hurt, even if it was something dumb, even if it was like something you offended them by, like maybe you forgot their favorite color or you forgot whatever. And I'm not saying that's dumb, but it's definitely not something that is posing like a, major threat right this moment that, the whole world's coming to an end is kind of what you're thinking, but they're thinking like, well, that means they don't care about me as much or whatever the case. So unfortunately, Virgo, because you pick people who tend to balance you out or can balance you out more emotionally, or because you work so hard, they're trying to take care of you. Those people need to be nurtured, and they're not the type that are typically going to come and try and make things right. So unfortunately, even if it's been 5 times, if you want this person back, you are going to have to go get them. Not for everybody, but for majority of you, that's true. And but right now is a good time because they're looking back and they're reminiscing and they're going, gosh, I missed that Virgo. I really loved him or her and I really want to get back with them, but maybe they feel guilty or maybe they feel dumb because maybe they realize the reason you guys split really wasn't worth what they've put you through. And again, you might have to be the bigger person and go after it. And I know a lot of you are going to give me grief for saying that, but it's true. So just face it. The last card you have is the outcome. And you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is ironic because Cancer did too. So some of you are seeing a water sign, in particular Cancer. And this is the person that you want back. So if you do want them back, this is telling me if you go for it, the wheel will turn in your favor. And you will feel that this is your destiny, and they will too. And you guys will be able to see in the future. I mean, really, people who are separated right now that are wondering about this, Virgo, if you are wondering, if you put the effort in, I'm telling you what the cards are saying is for the rest of May, if you really try one more time, then it might just be your destiny. It might just be your twin flame. For singles, this is the same thing. So for singles, this is saying you're self-aware. This person is, they might be judging a little bit because they're worried their heart's been broken a little bit. They might be reminiscing, and you definitely don't want to take the place of somebody that they're looking for from their past, as far as like, some people get into their mind what type of relationship or what they're expecting from somebody, and they try and fit that mold on everybody. So make sure this person, the Judgment card, is not doing that to you, that they're not trying to mold you into something that you're not, because this is a new relationship and maybe they're reminiscing, so they're bringing that past into it, hoping that they'll find with you what they had with somebody else. But really what it comes down to is they're looking at their past going, okay, maybe things didn't work out with my exes, or maybe I've had some ups and downs, but I know the good from the bad, and they're looking at you like a very good potential mate, and it looks like you're looking at them the same way. If you're single, you're kind of going, okay, I have the wisdom from the past as well as the Hanged Man, but I'm also more self-aware that this is what I've got to do to get what I want. So overall, Virgo, it actually looks like if you're single or if you're separated or you're wondering if you're going to reconcile, there's a lot of potential. So I will see you in June. Have a great rest of May.